That's why I have my fucking jersey on, bro.
So you're hungry again?
Kid, bro. Yeah. Again. I ate before I got here.
So you're hungry and that's why you have your jersey. What is that? How is that?
No, we're doing a sports episode.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's why I'm a fucking kit, mate. I'm a fucking PSG kit,
You
mate.
have your PSG shirt?
It's my kit, bro.
No, because isn't the kit,
bro.
isn't the kit the full fit?
It's my kit, bro.
And your jersey's the shirt, right?
It's my kit, bro.
It's your shirt, bro. All right, get it right. Get it correct. All right, I'm ready when you're
Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Media Mixtape podcast, where we talk about movies, music, and sports. This is your sports episode of the week. Yes, clap it up. This is your sports episode of the week. As you guys can tell by the title, today we'll be talking about record predictions. We'll probably be doing, AFC only, or do you want to do all of them?
Let's just do both, because we don't have much to talk about.
I actually didn't even look at news, to be honest.
There's not much to talk about regarding news. We do want to say off the top, we didn't have an episode last week, but RIP to Bill Russell, the great, one of the greatest players of all time. So important for NBA basketball.
And I want to say this now, and obviously it's like a time where I want to focus on Bill Russell, of course, but it just kind of reminded me about the fact of this is why, to me, we have to stop disrespecting these legends. You know what I mean? Because a lot of NBA fans came out, they're like, oh, rest in peace to Bill Russell, of course. And I think a lot of people pay their respects, but let's not just do that when they pass away. Bill Russell was a great, and I think you have to respect every NBA player that played in the past, because without them, the game wouldn't be where it's at today, And so I always go back to whenever you're debating who's a better player, Bill Russell or Shaq. First of all, it's super impossible to debate those players, right? But also it's if Shaq was, I always say go back to if Shaq was born back then. Let's talk about it then. I think, Shaq probably could have still been pretty good if he was born back then. But the point I'm saying is we can't compare eras and just keep doing that stuff. So just the reason why I'm saying stop arguing about it is because there's no reason. You can't compare eras. Don't argue about them. Discuss it. Don't disrespect these legends now.
Yeah, and especially someone like Bill Russell, who is so key to what the NBA is now. Mm-hmm. Without him, there is no NBA now.
And shout out to him for being so heavily involved for his entire life. He stayed involved. He would talk to players all the time. He would go to the award shows. He would go to the finals so he could present the Bill Russell Award, which is now the NBA's. It's always going to be called the Bill Russell Award, but it's the NBA Finals MVP. So, shout out to him. But again, rest in peace. Condolences to his friends and family. Obviously lived a great, legendary, amazing life. Just put a smile on my face so many times. Something as simple as when Kobe passed away, which was hard for everybody in LA. He was just one of those guys. He went out and just Laker jersey everywhere he went, Kobe jersey everywhere
Mr.
he went.
Mr. Celtic wearing a Laker jersey everywhere in respect for Kobe is just... Yeah, it just fucking hits you different.
Yeah, and to me, it was a sign of how great of a person he was, how much of a love for the game of basketball he had.
Right.
That he paid the respects to a great legend, a Lakers legend like Kobe, just like that. So yeah, shout out to Bill Russell again. I can't say enough. I was retweeting all day after he passed away, every single interview, and
some people get upset about that stuff too. Everybody starts posting their stuff about this person, and it's but it's also kind of cool. There's some clips I never saw before.
I had never seen the ones with him and Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, I never
seen those clips. Just different era, so they don't show those clips anymore, obviously. So for someone to go out their way and post all this stuff, I loved it.
There's a clip of him flipping off Charles Barkley at the ESPYs or something, and it just
he
a
did
bunch
that a
of
bunch
stuff.
of times. Yeah. Or when he was at the Hall of Fame speech award or whatever, and he was there making a speech, doesn't say anything. He's staring at all these legends, and he's like, I would have busted all your asses. Just tells him that right there to the face, all these legendary bigs in the NBA. So, yeah, just shout out to Bill Russell. It was definitely sad to see that he passed, but also, kind of put a smile on my face going back and watching all these clips and seeing how great of a dude he seemed like. And I wish I could have met him, at some point in my life. Right. Obviously, wasn't able to. So, rest in peace to an NBA legend. Yeah. Legendary
great life,
human being.
Legendary life, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, and this is a little bit, we don't really talk baseball too much, but as Dodgers fans, fans, I feel a need to say rest in peace to Vin Scully, who also passed away this week. Another absolute incredible legend. He had been commentating games for the Dodgers since 1950. Yeah. So he
60
was
plus years
literally there when Jackie Robinson was playing, calling games all the way up until I was a kid. Shout out to Vin Scully, just a legend in baseball history, but an absolute fun. I mean, just talking about legend in Los Angeles.
He's like, even my mother-in-law was saying it too. Like, no, she's a Yankee fan.
He's it, bro.
Like, he's it.
He's
as far as commentators,
baseball commentator.
He's it.
Like, when you're going, you're like, hey, let's pick this like a legendary game of like the best players ever.
Yeah.
Right? You want to put them all together. We got Babe Ruth pitching, and you got freaking all these guys all over the place, right? The legends.
Yeah.
You're going to have Vin Scully calling that game.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that I think is just absolute legend, storyteller, and everything.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Amazing. So shout out to
rest
Vin
in
Scully.
peace for him as well. Very sad, but again, another long, very successful life. So shout out to
legendary
Vin Scully.
life, yeah.
You will be missed for sure. But so I'm going to go over some NFL news. We're getting into preseason. Just some quick stories really quick. Starting off with one I think is interesting because we talked about it a lot before this episode started. The Panthers do not plan on naming the starting quarterback until after their August 19th preseason game versus New England. Now, Josh is a Sam Darnold fan. It's hilarious that they're both on the same team now.
Yeah, it is funny.
Josh is a Sam Darnold fan. He still thinks he's got it. I'm very much a Baker Mayfield believer, and I do think that he will be the starting quarterback, but we won't find out anytime soon, or at least for the next couple of weeks. August 19th, after facing New England, we'll find out who the starting quarterback is.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be Baker Mayfield. I do think Baker is obviously better than Sam Darnold. But
yeah, I'm gonna say this. Like, what I had said I've said this on the podcast before. I've said this on the podcast. Like, I think when Cleveland was struggling with Baker and they were like thinking if he was going to be the quarterback or not, I was saying, hey, call up whoever, the Jets, to try to go get Sam Darnold because I just wanted competition. And so what I'm saying is, I do think Baker has obviously proven he's a better. It's not even a question. He's proven he's a better quarterback of the two. But when the draft happened, I was saying, maybe the Browns should go Sam Darnold. Maybe the Browns should consider it at least. And there's a debate between Darnold and Mayfield. Even when they first got drafted and they were having these issues early on in their careers, I thought it was still a close competition. Now I think it's pretty clear Baker's cleared him, and he's very obviously better than him and proven to be better than him. But I do like the route that Carolina's taking. Hey, no one's promising you a job here.
Right.
We just traded you for a 5th-round pick. Traded for you for a 5th-round pick.
If you don't start for us, we won't lose anything.
No, Sam, wake up, compete with this guy because you guys are the same age, same draft class. Compete with him, and then if you're Baker, nothing's promised for you. This guy knows the offense. This guy's been here for the last couple of years. We're going to still roll with Sam, and you have to prove to him and to us that you're better than him. And so I like that that's the competition route they're going. I think that's what you need to do. I think you can't let Baker be too comfortable because if Baker's comfortable and confident that, hey, this is my team, that's when I think he can his ego kind of gets in the way. He's more focused on, when he's in Cleveland, he was seemed to be more focused on the commercials than he was on winning football games. Right. Even though he won a decent amount of football games, he was never. To me, I think that's the problem with Baker, is that he hasn't really gotten much better since he's come into the league, and also he's also dealt with a bunch of injuries, so that's an issue for him too. So look, I think Baker's better, but I think he has to prove it, and so I think he'll probably be the starting quarterback to start the season. But if they start the season and they go 0-3, the rumors are going to be rolling around, and he's going to have to face that head on, that adversity of like, hey, Sam Darnold's sitting behind me waiting.
He's definitely going to have to start strong. For sure. It'd be interesting to see what his relationship is with Robbie Anderson, who's probably their best receiver. I guess him
DJ
and
Moore.
DJ Moore, but
DJ Moore's better.
DJ Moore's better, but I think
it's like, who's the number one option?
Who's the number one option?
Yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is interesting. I do think Baker will start, but it's like you said, if he goes 0-3 or 1-2, it's definitely going to be like, all right, we got to start having some conversations if really you're the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Some stories are going to come out of like, oh, Sam Darnold's been looking good in practice and stuff. So we'll see. It is funny, though, that relationship with Robbie Anderson is going to be interesting because Robbie Anderson did tweet. He seemed to tweet that he didn't want him, really. But we'll see what happens.
Well, he came out and said, I was just being a good teammate. Don't say anything, bro.
Exactly. But ultimately,
you can say to him, hey, bro, fuck that. You're my QB, bro, da-da-da. But don't say it on Twitter, bro.
We'll see what happens. Ultimately, though, I do think Carolina, no matter what happens, they've went from being this young, exciting team that I think was on the right trajectory to now being this. You guys are in a weird space now, you know?
Yeah. I think should be good by now, but you're not.
Kinda. I also feel like I don't know what this pressure.
It's the quarterback.
What is this pressure going on though for Matt Rule? People are like, "This is it. This is the season." And I'm like, he kind of just got there a couple years ago, and he rebuilt the defense, and they're pretty good.
He inherited a team that like you have to. Like revamp the team as you get there. That takes a couple of seasons.
It just happens so fast. I'm like, dude, he rebuilt the defense, and I thought
he's
that
been 5 years now.
I think it was been for 3, dude.
No,
I think this is his 4th season.
5. Let's see. I look.
But he rebuilt the defense, and they looked better. They were younger. Now you're sitting with Christian McCaffrey, who's been out for the last 2 seasons, basically, and then. You know, he's looking for a quarterback. So I think if you're a little bit, they have no offensive line also, by the way. So I think if you're a little more patient with Carolina, build that offensive line to the draft, allow Sam Darnold, hey, this is your team, you know, kind of grow. Or Baker Mayfield, this is your team. Show it, prove it. You want this team. We're going to just slowly build an offensive line around you and go from there. I think that if you give Matt Rule 3 to 4 more seasons, that team could be pretty good. Especially if you trade Christian McCaffrey this year. You go, hey, you know what? He keeps getting hurt. He plays a couple games, you go, hey, he's on the market. He's a beast, goes 200 yards a game, you know, for a couple games.
Right.
All of a sudden, you trade a couple firsts for him and get a haul. Now you're looking at offensive linemen in the draft, and I think you got a squad. But it seems like they're a little impatient in Carolina.
Is anybody giving up that many firsts though for Christian McCaffrey?
A team will do it, but I think
the league was like, I think we're good with running backs.
The league's decided running backs are not valuable anymore.
After Zeke, after Todd Gurley, Saquon. You just go, we can kind of...
You can't pay one.
Can't pay an elite running back. It's just you're not going to win that way. Back in the day when running was important, for sure. Running is still important, but...
Running was a quarterback before,
Yeah, it's a quarterback's league now, and...
if you have Aaron Rodgers, he can have anyone behind him running, and you'd probably be all right.
So, we will see, but I do think Baker will be the starting quarterback.
What happened with Matt Rule?
Oh, it started in 2020, you're right.
Yeah, see? So, 2 seasons? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's 2 seasons in,
2 seasons in?
Yeah.
I was like, just be patient. What are we doing here?
For sure.
Why is he on the hot seat? They fucking sucked.
Yeah, give him 2 drafts.
They sucked before he got here.
Yeah, you're giving him 2 drafts.
And he's gotten better. They gotten better. I think they're in a good place because if you just be patient, I don't know why they Cam Newton. If they were just patient, told Sam Darnold it was his team.
Yeah.
And then whatever, he gets hurt, fuck it. Have a backup quarterback play for a little bit. You know, like lose since you can get more draft picks. I think if they're a little more patient, Matt Rule can fix this, but they seem to be in a rush in Carolina. I don't agree with it.
Right.
I think they're trying to fit Christian McCaffrey's window.
Yeah. It's most franchises for sure.
It's not.
Hey, but again,
the right way
if you go into the draft, you can get a guy that's good enough. He's not Christian McCaffrey for sure. But Christian McCaffrey, you only have him for half a season.
Maybe you don't trade Christian McCaffrey for 5 picks, but if you could trade him for, at
least one.
Call up Miami. Miami seems willing to throw some, some picks out there. They don't have any more picks. But get whatever they have left.
Who needs a running back right now like that drastically? I don't think anybody's going to go out there.
I'll call Buffalo and say, look, you never had a workhorse. I'm not saying I want all your first-round picks.
Your guys' window is there.
But what can you give me?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
You guys' window is there.
If Buffalo got Christian McCaffrey, I would cry probably.
It'd be over, yeah.
It's over. League's done.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Carolina, but I do think Baker will start week 1. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the Miami Dolphins. They were officially punished for their whole situation with Tom Brady. Brian Flores came out and said, hey... they made me talk to a quarterback. He never named anybody. Mm-hmm. Just said they had me talk to a quarterback previously before we could. It was against the rules. They wanted me to, lose games and pay. They were going to pay me to lose games and all this stuff for our draft pick. So they've officially been punished. The owner has been suspended, I believe. The NFL said the Dolphins did not intentionally lose games during the 2019 season, nor did anyone in the club, including Mr. Ross, instruct Coach Flores to do so. No witness contended otherwise.
Cap.
But hold on, I'm trying to see where the punishment is.
My thing about this, while Jake looks for a little more details.
NFL ruled that the Dolphins had impermissible communications with quarterback Tom Brady in 2019-2020 while he was under contract with the New England Patriots. Those communications began as early as August 2019 and continued throughout the 2019 season and postseason. So I
guess I understand why the league does this shit. Like, they have to pay attention and stuff. But I also feel like most fans are like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if Tom Brady could be middle of the season.
Right.
Talking to a different team, and I would be like, I don't.
Tampering's kind of funny to me.
Tampering's dumb. It's like, dude, it's like in this age, he could just get a burner phone and call them on the phone. Like, you would never know.
Right.
So, like, what's the point? Like, who even cares?
Right.
Especially because if he is under contract, you're going to trade for him probably. If you're not going to trade for him, you're going to sign him in the offseason, then it's the offseason. He can sign anywhere anyways.
Right.
So who cares if they have a little bit of early conversations?
Well,
maybe other teams who are trying to compete for a guy, like a free agent in general, maybe not Tom Brady, but...
like, because if you're Tom Brady, you go, hey, what are you guys thinking? And then Dolphins go, look, just fucking play out the season.
My thing is...
We're going to set you up this way.
Yeah.
And it's just
they're gonna have those conversations at the end of the season anyways. So what does it even matter? You know what I mean? Like,
no, but not necessarily though. Because if Tom Brady goes, hey, like, go get this guy, go trade for this guy, like, and I'll be there. You're like setting up back.
You're giving yourself more time than everyone
Right.
else is allotted
Right.
to get that opportunity. Sure, to like convince him to come. I get it, I guess, but I understand. I think the league is doing their job.
Yeah.
I think most fans don't give a fuck about this shit. But there was one fan that I had seen on Twitter. He said, "Oh, like, why is Miami getting punished? How come Tom Brady doesn't get punished?" So I'm like, come on, like I would be heavily against them complaining to the players. The players are all about their money, bro. Like, and if teams are gonna be willing to tamper to get this player, like, then if you're Tom Brady, you gotta just kind of
like that's how the team.
I'm not punishing.
It's not on the player for me.
The odds of the player reaching out to the organization is very rare.
Right.
And so I just think you got to go with blame the organization. You can't really blame Tom Brady.
There should be some like. There should be a way, like, if you want to avoid tampering, you need to announce, hey, I'm leaving this team at the end of the season. Maybe. Or not even announce it to the public, but if you go to the NFL office and say, hey, I'm leaving this team at the end of the season, I want to be able to talk to organizations.
Something to sign off to say, like,
I'm signing off.
Tampering's not a thing.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think...
Because I'm already leaving regardless.
Like, I'm not looking at the Dolphins organization any less.
Because then it's not even... Because then you can open the doors for the entire league. Say, everybody can talk to me now.
Yeah.
It's not like the Dolphins like sneakily talking to Tom Brady.
Well, because it's tampering, because they're getting punished. Are you looking at Miami's organization? Are you like that's fucked up?
No.
I'm upset with them still from Brian Flores. Sure, like they shouldn't have fired his ass, but I'm not sitting here like it's a bad organization. Maybe the losing on purpose thing for sure is like.
I mean, if I'm a Patriots fan, probably.
Yeah, but even then. I'm like, no, he was on. Was he on the? Yeah,
he was on the Patriots. Yeah,
but even then, I'm like, I don't care, dude. I don't care.
Yeah,
I really don't care about what Miami did. Like, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
So they were they were stripped of the Dolphins. The Dolphins were stripped of the first round pick in 2023, 2024 third round pick, and the Dolphins owner is suspended through October 17th.
Damn.
And fined $1.5 million.
Damn. That's pocket change for him. He's going to come back eventually to the games. He'll probably take a little vacation, not go to football games for a little bit. He'll be fine. It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. But interesting. It is an interesting story for sure. What it does make me think about is like the 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm like, how much crazy shit was going on back then that they couldn't track with the tampering stuff, you know? Yeah,
but I think nowadays players are very much more of like, all right, how do I get what I need behind the scenes? I think players back in the day were like, you just fucking pay me, bro. And like,
as long as you pay me to play football, I don't give a fuck who I'm playing for. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that's kind of it for NFL news. We did get the official suspension for Deshaun Watson. It is 6 games. A lot of people are arguing it's too short.
Well, even the NFL themselves are.
I would agree. Yeah, the NFL is fighting that stance. If you're, as a fan though, I go, you're the NFL. What do you? Yeah. Like, you can just suspend them whatever length you want.
Why do they keep going? Why do they got a judge?
Well, we got to get a judge.
Have they ever done this?
No, I think it's new. I think what they're trying to do is be like, oh, we're not
suspending him that long. The judge is, and the judge is like 6 games.
No, what they're trying to do is go, oh, it's not up to us.
Yeah.
Like, we're not the ones responsible for the punishment, so we're unbiased. We're not being biased and being like, oh, we want to fuck with you, so we're gonna.
Which is cool. If this is what they're out there gonna go, it's cool.
It's a PR thing though.
But it's like it's so stupid now because
if you're that NFL, you go, I don't agree with that judgment. He's suspended the whole season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's just so stupid now because NFL has fucked themselves over by having so many dumb suspensions the last few years of players getting suspended a full season for weed or something. You know, it's like dumbest shit ever.
Full season for weed or fucking multiple seasons for weed.
Yeah.
Drop charges with Zeke. We've talked about it before where,
he was accused of something where it came out, I think it came out eventually that it was proven that she was lying. It was his girlfriend. Yeah. And it was proven that she was lying.
Right.
And they still suspended him 6 games, which is crazy. So it's one of those things. Like I understand. This is what I will say. Like
or
I
Calvin Ridley too. Calvin Ridley and for betting. I think
exactly.
He bet on, like, one game
for gambling. Which I think it's a serious offense, but $1,500 for a game he didn't even play in is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But what I will say is like I want to make sure. I don't know how many women would ever come across seeing this podcast, but it is important to know that like it still matters. The NFL is horrible at handling these situations with
domestic
players
violence.
and domestic violence and women assault, anything involving women from athletes seems to kind of get swept under the rug and blown over, in the NFL. So it is sad, and it's a serious situation where they need to fix that.
Right.
And I think if you're a dude out there who's like, bullshit, Deshaun Watson, whatever, I'm like, look, dude, I kind of think it's a complicated situation. I don't think it's black and white like everyone kind of wants it to be. But at the same time, it's a lot of fucking women.
Yeah, it's a lot of women.
We could talk about conspiracy theories all day, but the fact of the matter is,
there's fire.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of fucking women, and why are we going to war for this guy when the truth is, none of us know what the fuck went down.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to war for Deshaun fucking Watson. So let's just like it was 6 games. I think it's way too little. I'm hoping for a season minimum.
Right.
And going from there. And if it's a season minimum, honestly, at that point, afterwards, I don't really care. As long as he gets, I think he should get a little fined. But as long as he misses a season, I'm like, whatever, fine. Move on from there. Because at this point, legally, nothing's going to happen to him. So, fine. Let the motherfucker play football.
And I think, like it or not, he has to be able to come back and play football at some point.
Yeah.
And obviously there's
even if he was guilty for every case,
if he's guilty, then he would go to prison.
Would he?
Yeah.
For like
criminally, if he's guilty, he's going to prison.
What's what I'm saying? Like, he's not. But I shouldn't say guilty of the criminal charges. I should say if he was like, even if he had to pay out every single in a civil lawsuit. I think
what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he had to pay out every single person. Like he lost every civil case.
Yeah. I think he's settling with all the women.
He would still eventually have to play football. Like, you know what I mean? The truth is, he was just going to play football eventually.
Oh, even if he went to prison, eventually, if he came out in a short enough time.
He's playing football at some point.
Right.
And we're going to have to talk football about Deshaun Watson at some point, not talk about his allegations, which is, unfortunate for some people, I'm sure. But it is what it is. And he's going to play football again. So give him a season, take some of his money away, and let's go. Let's play football.
I think they should that contract is bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They paid him like
the NFL should,
No, they're like, no, fuck that. We're taking a percentage, bro. Like, we're not.
No, not even that. They should go, okay, you're going to say only 1% gets taken away, because it's basically
$1 million. It's $1 million.
It's $1 million away from his first year.
Yeah.
Which is probably when he's going to suspend it. The NFL should go, okay, we're taking all of it. That's it.
Not the whole contract.
No, bro. Fuck no. The first year. Fined fucking $20 million. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying.
What the hell is he going to get all of it?
No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. No, because
half. Give me half.
No. The way that they set up his contract is that he's getting paid. Yeah. Is that he's getting paid $1 million only the first year.
Technically.
Yes. So the NFL, if they suspend him for that season, are only taking the $1 million. If I'm the NFL, I go, no, we're taking a percentage.
We're taking
prorating
some
that
of
over
his
the
money.
year. You made whatever $400 million or however the fucking big the contract is. We're taking over the length of the contract. We're taking $20 million or whatever.
Or you just that's it. Deshaun Watson as a person is fined $20 million.
Right. There's no way you can.
Well, we would imagine he would have got paid actually. What's the average?
Yeah, the average
per year.
The average per year. We're taking that. I'm taking all of that.
I think first season. I think so too, but I think he's averaging like $40 million a year.
Yeah, we'll give him his fucking $40 million. Yeah, we're taking it.
$40 million fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for Deshaun Watson fans out there, but fuck that, bro. Yeah. Especially the way Cleveland did that was dirty.
It's so grimy,
bro.
So
dirty.
You like, he's gonna get suspended for the shady shit that he did. So that's only give him $1 million the first year. It's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
So, anyways,
damn.
Deshaun Watson will play football at some point.
And we're talking about him eventually.
Next season, it's probably next season.
Should be next season.
Yeah. And it should be next season. So, moving on from that, we're going to get into our record predictions. Are we going to say the wild card round too? Or should we just leave that for another day?
Let's say it for another day.
All right.
Let's do AFC.
So we have
the
entire playoff predictions as well, but that'll be yeah.
Let's do AFC for now, and then we'll see how we're doing on time.
Okay. Yeah, because we always say like, we'll do fucking short.
Yeah, and then like 3 hours later, we're like, okay, so the Cowboys are gonna be. We're all tired and shit.
All right. Do you want me to send?
Yeah, send me the fucking pictures. Oh, how you? How are you going to send me? Oh, the records. Send me the records.
Yeah.
So we went through this website and we didn't even fucking say the website. It's in the history browser on the computer. I'll probably Google it. But it was in beta. Shout out to this website. When Jake gets the link, it'll be sick because I highly recommend. It's in beta right now, but we highly recommend if you want to do record predictions yourself, this website is fucking sick. Now, if you're this weirdo, like, I don't want to say weirdo, I'm sorry. But if you're like this super... You want specifics on like, oh, well, they don't have this feature, then fucking get the fuck out of here, okay? I haven't looked at every website for record predictions, so
this is the first one we went to.
Maybe I'm like a dumbass for picking this one, but we picked one, and I thought it was phenomenal.
It's in beta, and it got kind of slow towards the end.
It did get kind of slow, very slow, actually.
So, but it fucking worked. So, it is next.playoffpredictors.com.
Yeah, and it was sick, man. You go through, if I click Baltimore Ravens get a dub this week, and they're playing Miami. Miami automatically gets a loss.
Yeah.
Baltimore gets a dub.
We've done that on paper before, and it takes forever.
Yeah, so it organizes everything for you, gives you the playoffs, gives you the standings, gives you all that good stuff. So it gives you the draft order for the next draft based on your record predictions.
Yes.
Gives you the breakdown of a bracket for playoffs. Everything was sick. So shout out to that website. They did great for us on this one.
Like I said, in beta, but probably eventually will be out of beta.
Maybe, yeah.
And it was a great website. So
definitely great for
shout
us
out to them.
For this situation.
Next.playoffpredictors.
It's what we use. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the website features has, though, because we're the ones saying who wins what game.
Right.
And it's our predictions at the end of the day still.
We're doing just AFC? We'll do just AFC, maybe NFC if we get through it quickly enough.
Yeah, for sure. So, going into the AFC, we'll start off with the AFC East. It's the first team right here on top for us in the picture we have. Starting with the AFC East, we'll go with the worst to first situation.
Yeah, worst to first.
So, worst in the division end up being the 15th seed in the AFC period. The New York Jets, we have them going 4-13. Now, I will say this. I do like the Jets. I like their offseason. I think Zach Wilson has potential.
I like them better than that record.
I do too.
But when it boils down to their schedule,
when you're there and you're picking the games, it's so hard to say the Jets beat Tampa. Like last year, I think that happened, right? The Jets beat Tampa. I'm not gonna predict that. I'm sorry. It's possible it happens
again. Yeah.
It's possible it happens. They beat Buffalo. It's possible they beat another great team.
There's always a chance for an upset, but we're going based off of face value. Yeah. Realistically, are they going to beat this team?
And it's very tough. We do give, there was a couple with other teams. We did it like there are a couple like, well, I think this team should win, but we'll give them this. We'll give them this dub.
Right.
For sure. There were some of those, but that didn't happen too much with the Jets, apparently. They go 4-13. Again, whether they're 6-11, 4-13, they're not going to make the playoffs. Right. They're going to be at the bottom of this division most likely.
And it's going to be a bad record. It's not going to be a good record, but could be better than 4-13 for sure.
And that's it. It is what it is. Okay, sorry, Jets fans. Moving on to the next team. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins. They end up going 9-8. They are the 11th seed in the AFC. They go 3-3 in the division, and I like this record for them.
Yeah,
I think this is pretty accurate. I think they're going to be pretty good, but not great. They will be better than they've been, but middle of the road. 9-8 is a good record for them, and I do think it's just kind of like what their team is right now. They're just middle of the road. Good, but not great.
I will say shout out to them for picking up Teron Armstead to be their left tackle. I think Connor Williams is going to play pretty well for them, better than he played with the Cowboys at left guard. But I also do think he does have holding issues and holding penalties. Tua also is just not the best deep ball thrower. He's accurate. He's an accurate thrower, but he's not going to take the most risks. He's not really going to... He's the issue. He's the issue right now. Unless he's dramatically better next season and healthy all season, I don't really see how the Dolphins have a much better record than this. Now, again, they can go 10-7, they can go 11-6 maybe. But looking at their record, looking at their schedule, we look at it and say 9-8 for them.
Yes.
The Patriots, they go 10-7. They end up being the 8th seed in the entire AFC. Some other good records throughout the entire AFC, but they go 10-7. A little bit of a surprise. I think before we even started this and looked at their schedules, I would have said Bills, Dolphins, maybe. Yeah. Patriots, because I don't like the offseason for the Patriots. I feel like Bill Belichick is getting to that point now where we said, hey, when Tom Brady leaves, who was the magic? And it kind of I don't think Tom Brady was the magic there because Bill's just made some very questionable decisions the last couple
I would
seasons.
agree, but I think it's like one of those moments of like Tom left because he knows they were
on their way down. Mm-hmm.
And so then he leaves. It's like, it looks like, oh, fucking Belichick doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, no. Tom got to a point where he was like, I can't win anymore with them. And also he tried to do me dirty. So I'm out.
But they were bad, and then losing the GOAT really makes you really bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it really makes you see all the holes.
And they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad last season. Mac Jones played well. They played well as a team.
He's in shape. He's coming in shape.
Their off season just wasn't too great for me. You're drafting a third round talent in the first round.
A lot of these records, what they boil down to is their division. Because obviously you have to play 2 games against everybody in your division, and depending on how strong your division is, could go either way. But I think 10-7 is a good record for them. Maybe 9-8. Mm-hmm. Could be 11-6. Like they are in that area.
Yeah, I'm not gonna completely disrespect the Patriots yet, but I'll say 10-7. And I can't hate it too much.
Yeah.
Then obviously the number one seed in the AFC East, number one seed in the AFC.
Yes.
Ultimately,
the Buffalo Bills. They go 14-3.
Now it is crazy.
That
is a lot of wins.
Yes.
But when you look at it, at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills are great. Josh Allen's gotten better every single season. They look confident in themselves. They look hungry. They look like everything about them is just like they're ready and primed for something great this season.
Right.
They've been getting better every year. Their coach is amazing. You have those moments in preseason right now, out of their training camp, I should say, where Josh Allen's getting in the face of defenders and shit, and they're like, they're down to get down and dirty and play hard-nosed football games. They're built like that, but also they're built to throw in this modern day, quarterback pass heavy offense.
Right.
And I think they're primed for an incredible season.
I agree. And 14-3, is it high? Maybe, but not by much. Maybe 13-3. 13-3? No, 13-4. But it's there. It's right there.
Did you see that update right now from ESPN?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry supposedly broke a helmet during practice with a stiff arm. That's crazy. Anyways, yeah. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. 14-3. It's a little high again. Maybe they could be 13-4, 12-5, but they're going to be really good and the best team in the division. Probably the best team in the AFC.
Right. I agree.
Moving on to the next division, we're going with the AFC West, which was arguably the toughest division to break down.
I don't even say arguably. I think it's probably the toughest. Yeah.
Period. The whole NFL.
Yeah.
It was the toughest division to break down. There's a lot of all 4 teams are really good right now, and
there was a point in our breakdown that 3 teams had the same record.
Yeah, exactly. And we obviously adjusted it as we went through all the other teams in the league. But ultimately, we landed with the Los Angeles Chargers being the 4th team in this division. Now, I don't love that, but at the same time, I've said this multiple times. I don't like that everyone's just crowned Justin Herbert as this next Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes type quarterback.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's very clutch. I think he's really, really good.
Right.
Possibly probably top 10 quarterback easily. I think top 10 quarterback, but top 5 maybe, top 6, 7. I don't know. Is he better than Dak Prescott? We always talk about that. It's an interesting conversation to have about Justin Herbert, but this is that year for me where I say, okay, they got an entire new defense that looks really good on paper, but it almost always happens like this in the NFL.
Yeah.
That team gets put together and the first season is just not what we expect it to be. Everyone's expecting this defense to be number 1 defense in the league, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's just probably not what it's going to be.
Right.
It's probably going to be a top 10 defense, but have its ups and downs for sure because these guys have to learn to play together first. And on top of that, Herbert is going to have issues. I don't think his offensive line is completely fixed. I don't think the right side of the offensive line looks great yet. Right. He still lost a lot of games last year. So 9-8 is their record ultimately, 2-4 in the division, which is very, very ugly, but it's just what it is.
My biggest thing with the Chargers is, like you said, they lost a lot of games last year. And yeah, they added Khalil and yeah, they added JC Jackson, but beyond those 2 moves and their draft, they are like pretty much the same as last year. Mm-hmm. So, and they were still losing games. Now, are they going to be better? Yeah, absolutely. But also their division got extremely better.
Last season, that is crazy right now. This thing glitching and it's not showing me the Chargers. It's showing me every team, but not showing me the Chargers. What the fuck? It's so weird.
So yeah, they were good. They lost a lot last season, and they basically were the same team that they are this year, adding Khalil Mack, but does he have it still? Adding J.C. Jackson, who's obviously a beast, but how much can he really change on the defensive side? So,
okay, am I tripping? Look at this shit. Every division has 4 teams except for them.
That's fucking weird.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
My phone knows I'm trying to talk about the Chargers. I don't remember what the Chargers record was last year, but I think they were close to the Raiders. I think they were 9-8.
Yeah, I think so.
9-8 or 10-7.
Maybe even been like a losing record, maybe.
Maybe. I think because they had to play that game against the Raiders to see who made the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the Raiders ended up going 10-7. So they're around 10-7, 9-8.
So they would have been 9-8 if the Raiders won that game. They were right because they would have. Then the Chargers would have been 10-7.
Yeah. So they're probably 9-8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, we haven't fucking talked about the records yet. We have the Chargers at 9-8. Again, fourth in this division. But again, they got better, but so did everybody else in their division, and that's part of it.
That's part of it, and they have a tough schedule too. We obviously have them losing some games against some good teams. So, trust me, we do like the Chargers. I would not be surprised. Again, I have to say this. This is the only division I'm going to say this about, because we can say this about every division, of course, but this is the only one that I'm confidently going to say. Chargers could be first or fourth. Goes with everyone else in their division.
Yeah.
Everyone could be first or fourth. Broncos could be first or fourth. Raiders can be first or fourth. And the Chiefs, I'm not mad at anybody putting any of those guys first or fourth, because, again, this division is literally a toss-up. Such a toss-up. Moving on, the Kansas City Chiefs. You want to say that one?
No, you go.
Kansas City Chiefs, we have them 7th in the entire AFC. They end up being 3rd here in their division. Yes, a little bit surprising, but we still have them going 10-7. And that's what we're saying about this division. We were able to fit all these guys to have winning records. Every team in this division had a winning record. Yet the Chiefs end up 10-7. Look, they took a big step back. They lost their top receiver.
Right.
They still have Travis Kelce, yes, but we're kind of having these question marks about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is he the running back for them?
Right.
Is Juju Smith better than we expect? Is he worse than we expect?
Right.
And also, they have no one else really. I mean, who are the other receivers? They had DeAndre Johnson.
Yeah.
No, is he on the?
They just signed him to an extension. Deontay Johnson. Yeah.
Isn't he on the Steelers? Am I tripping?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was thinking of Juju and I connected.
Yeah, you started the Steelers, right?
No, they have Juju Smith and
Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, they also have Pringle on their roster still. I just don't see them really having this. Mecole Hardman's still there, but I just don't really have them. I don't really see them having this incredible receiving core now. Again, Mahomes is Mahomes,
right?
But
was Mahomes because of Tyreek?
It's a question.
Because there's a lot of plays of Tyreek being fucking like a 10-yard out and then taking it for fucking 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so all I'm saying is they're taking a step back, and it's not a huge step back. They're 10-7. That's a really good record, I think. 10-7 is going to be where it's at. Now, it's going to be tough. I think here they were able to make the cut and make the playoffs, but it is tight. They're definitely cutting it close with the 10-7 record. So, but 4-2 in the division. Actually, the best record in the division.
Yeah, best record in the division, but taking L's everywhere else. So moving on to the Denver Broncos, we have them 6th seed in the AFC, and they go 11-6, 3-3 in the division. And I like this. I like this record for them. I just feel like Russell Wilson is still that good. Their wide receiver room is that good, and their defense is still pretty good.
Yeah,
I think Denver's being slept on a little bit. I know. Fucking Russell's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Let's ride. You know what I mean? I got it, but he's still a fucking beast, bro.
Yeah, he's a monster. I think we're underrating him at this point.
Yeah.
People forgot how good he is and how good he can be. And on top of that, he still has a great receiving core. He still has some good weapons to throw too. A decent running back. Defense is, like you said, not as bad as people may expect. They did lose their obviously defensive mastermind as their head coach is gone, but at the same time, I think that defense is still good enough to
they have the pieces.
to be solid, enough to get this team to an 11-6 record. My only question is, Russell Wilson's going from Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf to Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. I'm like, that's a little bit of a drop-off. You know, whether you want to argue, you can argue all day. It's a little bit of a drop-off, and he wasn't doing that good in Seattle. And it's not even just to say that like the team wasn't doing good, because they weren't doing good as a team, but their defense was ass and the offensive line wasn't good.
Right.
But as a team, they weren't doing good, but he himself even wasn't performing super well either. So that's my concern.
He did fuck up his finger in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but that's my concern. Is he getting older and falling off a little bit because he's not as fast? Or is he just, he was on a situation that was really bad for him in Seattle?
I think it was a good mix of been in Seattle too long with Pete Carroll, and it kind of went stale. Offensive line wasn't great.
Yeah.
Defense wasn't great. And I think it just was a mix of everything. Like, we just run our course. I got to go somewhere else new.
Yeah.
Is it a drop off his wide receiver core? Maybe.
Slightly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I think, do we really see what Jerry Judy and Cortland Sutton could do with Drew Lock?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. And but again, this is another team where Jake and I could argue this back and forth all day. Was it this? Was it that? Is Russell Wilson the same? Is he not? That's what it's gonna be for them, though.
Right.
We're sitting here saying he's still got some juice. They still have some work as an organization.
Yeah.
They still need to work on the offensive line. The defense could still be better. So like they still have some work to do as an organization. But 11-6 is a pretty good record.
Right.
But if he's just Russell Wilson falling off, not as good as he used to be, then they will be fourth in the division.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and it'll mix it up a little bit. So that's really dependent on that. But again, why it's so hard to talk about this division. I think when he first signed, I was like, Broncos are still fourth to me. But again, you know, sitting here now, obviously we went through the records and their schedules, and clearly we disagree with that now. So I like it. 11-6. Can't hate on it too much. They'll be around there, I think, for sure this season.
Yeah.
And then the Las Vegas Raiders take the AFC West.
I don't love it.
Jake doesn't love it. But a couple weeks ago on the podcast, if I'm not mistaken, I literally said Raiders win this division and the Raiders go to the AFC Championship was my prediction. So a little bit crazy. I'm not sitting here. I'm not a Raiders fan, I promise. But I do think Derek Carr is primed for an MVP-like season. If he can play similar to what he played last season with now Devontae Adams as his receiver, I think he really could take off, be an MVP candidate. I think we saw their only preseason game as they were the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, it's preseason. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence didn't play, whatever. And it's against Jacksonville. But the team looked pretty good. They looked pretty organized. They looked like they knew what they were doing. Yes, you know, it was sloppy play here and there. Of course, it was a Hall of Fame game with a bunch of backups. But I think they had moments of little flashes of like, okay, they got a little something. And Josh Jacobs is a player who looks like, oh, really? You're going to draft Zamir White? You're going to sign Kenyon Drake?
Yeah.
And you're not going to pick up my fifth-year option? He's got something to play for this season now, all of a sudden, what Josh Jacobs says. And he looked like he was playing like that in the Hall of Fame game. So they have three good running backs. Zamir White had some fucking juice in him, bro, in that game. And I think they look pretty good. And obviously, Devontae Adams and Derek Carr already have chemistry being homies from college.
Right.
This doesn't surprise me.
What's wild about this is that right now, currently as constructed, the Las Vegas Raiders have the least amount of questions about them.
Yeah.
The only question is Devontae Adams. Right?
Is it even a question, though? I mean, you know, he's going to be Devontae Adams.
I'm saying we haven't seen him play, is my point.
Is he going to be the same with a new quarterback?
Is it the same? But they have chemistry together. So it's like you said, we do kind of know what they do together.
Can expect, yeah.
Broncos, new quarterback, new system, no defensive coordinator. There's a lot of questions there. Kansas City, no Tyreek Hill. We're receiving course not the greatest. Mm-hmm. Is Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually a good running back? Mm-hmm. What is Patrick Mahomes going to look like without Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
And then Chargers, same thing.
New defense. How are they going to play? Are they going to be as good as we expect them to be?
Does Khalil Mack still have it? Is J.C. Jackson going to repeat what he did with New England?
Is Herbert what we expect him to be?
Right.
You know, or saying he is? You know,
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of question marks for sure. The Raiders have the least, I guess, in the sense of like they're pretty much the same team. They just added Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good last year.
Yeah.
You know, they went 10-7. So I have them just improving off the last year, and I think that makes some sense. Again, they got Devontae Adams.
I think it's just because it's the Raiders. I'm like, I don't trust Derek Carr necessarily, but
I don't trust the Raiders organization.
Because I don't trust Derek Carr, bro.
They kind of just always are like similar to the Cowboys, right? We talked about this.
He's yet to even get to the playoffs, right?
Derek Carr, no, he went last year. Lost to the Bengals first round.
Oh, okay. So yet to have a playoff win is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't trust Derek Carr. Now, I'm not saying just off of that playoff loss, but I'm saying just in general. Isn't that correct? I'm like, are you good?
He's sneaking into the top 10 for me.
That's always been me with Derek Carr.
He's sneaking into the top 10
Are
for me.
you
I think
a fucking
he's
good quarterback?
I think he's pretty good.
Because when I'm watching him, I'm like, he's pretty good. But then he's kind of not.
Yeah, I think he's pretty
strange.
good. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins, but in a similar boat of like, you have some moments, bro, where you're not that great. But every quarterback does.
And I have to do it, guys. Sorry. Derek Carr or Dak Prescott?
Oh, Dak Prescott. But it's...
I think it's a debate.
Closer. It's closer than it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Is like Derek Carr to me, he's sneaking into top 10. I think he's about... Say you push Dak all the way to 10, 11, which is like around that range. That's why they're close. Like, I think Carr's like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right there.
Could be 10.
I think Carr's right behind Dak, right next to him.
Sure.
Well, you know, which, you know, some people will say that's why, Dak sucks because I think Derek Carr sucks or whatever. But
yeah,
I think they're close.
Right.
Ish.
I feel you.
I would go down.
We do have them 12-5, a best record in that division. Will that happen? Who fucking knows?
If the Raiders do Raiders things, they'll probably end up last in this division.
Right.
But I have them kind of coming out of the smoke. You know, they're kind of.
Like I said, they're the most like the same. They're the same squad.
Yeah.
They've been together for a while. They added the best receiver in the league.
They went through a lot of shit last year.
Yeah.
A lot of shit last year.
And they still ended up 10-7.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Raiders. I got them 12-5. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
You guys let us know how you guys feel about that for sure. I'm sure some AFC West fans are going crazy right now.
Yes.
Moving on to the AFC North. Go ahead with the bottom team, Jake. Out there.
We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, 14th seed, going 4-13, 2-4 in their division.
This would
They're
be
just
the
not good, bro.
by far worst record they've ever had under Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Which that's what makes me nervous. That's what makes me nervous about it is that
They're
Mike
not
Tomlin,
good, bro.
Mike Tomlin knows how to get his shit out of
Yeah, but
guys.
he's always had Ben Roethlisberger, bro.
True, it's true as well.
Whoever
but-
hate Ben Roethlisberger, he's always up until like the last 2 seasons, always been pretty consistent.
Yeah. But ultimately, we have them going 4-13. It's a pretty bad record, but this is me saying, hey, Mitch Trubisky goes 0-3. Oh my God, he sucks. So throw Kenny Pickett in small hands.
Right.
Small hand, Kenny Pickett out
And just
there.
write him out.
Kenny Small Hands. I'm trying to think of a
Kenny
nickname
Small
on the fly. Throw Kenny Pickett in there. Let him just lose games, but develop as a quarterback and see what we can do. But
I was just thinking Kenny can't pick it because of his small hands.
he was a corner.
It's like
that'd be
too
perfect.
long.
Yeah. Kenny can he? Kenny can he with small hands?
It's just you got to involve the small hands in it. It's too long.
Yeah, exactly.
But 4-13, they're just not good. It's what it boils down to. They're just not good.
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns. This is a huge question mark, obviously. We just talked about this with Deshaun Watson. Will he play this year? I'm going to say no, but we went on the assumption of saying, as of right now,
With the 6 games
he's
suspension.
suspended 6 games.
Yeah.
So once that 6th week happened, we kind of started looking at the Browns like assuming they would have Deshaun Watson, which is why we gave him a few more wins than maybe you would expect them to. But even with Jacoby Brissett, I think they can get some wins and they can get to this record. Even if Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback the whole season, I wouldn't be surprised if this was their record to end the season.
I agree.
We had them going 9-8, 3rd in the division, 10th seed in the AFC. I think it's a fine number. I think even if Deshaun comes after week 6 and their record is whatever it is, 3-3.
Yeah.
I don't see Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in 2 seasons, all of a sudden carrying this team to a playoff berth.
Right.
But if he does play, it's a huge question mark because he was arguably a top 5 quarterback before he.
Yeah. Is he still a top 5? 2 years off is a long time for a professional athlete. So, but we have him going 9-8, like Josh said. Even with Jacoby Brissett, I think that's a reasonable record.
I probably would get more losses if I would assume as Brissett the whole season.
Yeah, for sure.
But they also have Amari Cooper, who I think is a guy who a wonderful receiver for a backup quarterback, like because he just knows how to get open.
Right, for sure.
So yeah.
So we have them going 9-8. We have the Cincinnati Bengals off of their Super Bowl appearance going 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking like Joey B, man.
I do.
I like Joey B a lot. I think they got better. I do think they got better.
I think they've changed their organization's what's the word? Like
Culture?
their mojo, their culture for sure. Like they're now all of a sudden this swaggy organization.
We can ball. You know what I mean? We can ball. We're a scary team for sure.
They fucking literally go one season where they go to the Super Bowl, and the next season go, here's some white fucking helmets for you. That's hard, bro.
The white helmets are pretty sick.
Hard. Some people are talking shit about them, I guess, because like they're like it's like a different animal. It's not a Bengal anymore.
Well, isn't it white?
Do they have white Bengals?
White Bengal tigers? I'm sure, don't they?
They have like white tigers for sure. I know there's white tigers. I don't know if they're called white Bengal tigers.
Go there right now. White.
But hard. And we call it Joey B, Joey Ice. Come on, man. Do they call him Joey Ice?
No, I don't think so.
Joey Burr.
I call him Joey B.
Or Burr.
I just call him Joey B.
Burr. It's cold out here. Burr.
Yeah, there's white Bengal tigers.
There you go. White Bengal tigers. So I think it's fire. The white icy jerseys are fucking clean.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think I do love Jamar Chase. I fucking love me some. I'm sorry. What I meant to say. I love me some Joey B.
Yeah.
But I love Jamar
Chase.
Chase. Like that motherfucker is insane. Like I always see receivers go into that. You always see the receiver go into the NFL. You're like, okay, like oh shit,
They're always
Jay Jettas is a beast.
They're always the same, right? They're always
This is the
hella
next.
confident. I'm the next guy.
Well, then we talk about them like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we say this guy's it. He's the next Randy. He's the next Jerry. Whatever.
Right.
Jamar is the first that I've seen in a while where I go, he actually might be the next fucking
Great.
player. Like immediately came in and just dominated. Yeah,
Right.
same thing with Jay Jettas. I'll give him some credit, but it feels different.
Yeah, something about Jamar. Well, Jamar went like top 10, right? Jamar.
Yeah. Top 5. Mm-hmm.
That was their first pick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bengals? Yeah, because they were talking shit about it. They should have took fucking.
Yeah, he's the
Panay,
5th overall pick.
Right? Should have taken Panay or something.
5th or 6th.
So yeah, like it definitely was like, are they gonna take a fucking wide receiver? That's a gamble at number 5. But then he came in, you're like, oh nah.
Yeah, no,
This was the right
fucker's
fucking
legit. And so I think he's the first that I go, oh yeah, he might be the next great. And I love him, and I think they're really good. I think they have a great receiving core. Yeah. I was surprised CJ Uzomah left, but they have a great kicker. They have a great culture and mojo going on about them. They're confident in themselves. Joey B, also supreme confidence. So yeah, we have them going 11-6.
This one and the Ravens, it's another situation. They could be last on this fucking division. I think.
I think you're going off of the fact that last year they were just so bad because of injuries.
Not last, but like second to last. Because there's no way Pittsburgh they're losing out to.
They were just so bad because of their injuries last year. So it's hard. It's a bad taste in your mouth. You're like, they're just not that good.
That's what it is.
But they are really that good. They just got so hurt last year. It's not even funny. So I just go back to Lamar doesn't lose a lot. And I think he's going to go 12-5. It's going to be another situation where the Ravens have a great season, look really good, dominating the offensive run game.
Right.
But then they get to the playoffs and it's just fizzle out again.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but kind of feels like that's where they're at right now. We'll see. But I'm not going to go ahead and bet on Lamar losing a bunch of games.
I mean, I'm not mad at it just because obviously the Bengals and the Browns, what they are. Because the Bengals are good. But they still have like holes. They're not like a perfect team. Just because they got the Super Bowl, they're not the best team in the.
A bunch of Cowboy fans said it, right? Leal Collins goes to the Bengals, and look, I love Leal Collins. I think he's a great Pro Bowl right tackle. He's already dealing with injuries, or like not. He was dealing with something where he was missing training camp already.
Right.
So it's just what we've expected as Cowboy fans, like when we used to have Leal Collins, and so. As big of a pickup as he is, if he's not playing football for you, he's not going to be a big pickup for you. Exactly. So he has to be on the field. But if he's on the field, they are a better offensive line. But they still have the offensive line issue. They still have the defense not being as good. They still have the cornerback one not being, or cornerback one being Eli Apple, or Awuzie. Awuzie is good, but I think he's a good corner 2.
Secondary,
probably. Even a better number 1 probably. So, they have a lot of questions still. I think the Bengals going 11-6 is reasonable.
So let's just run through the last division and call it an ep.
Yeah,
51 minutes in.
Last division, so we'll go ahead and for NFC fans, we'll go ahead and do record predictions next week for the NFC. We are getting close to an hour here for the pod. The number 16 seed, last seed in the AFC, 4th in this division, we have the Houston Texans going 3-14. A little bit sad and sorry. I think Davis Mills might get you a couple more dubs than that.
Right.
But ultimately, you guys being the Houston Texans being last in the AFC.
But it's also just the schedule, too. Their schedule's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And they're not good.
Yeah. So, as much as I want to give you guys some more wins, I think there's always teams that have embarrassingly low records where you're like, how do you only win 3 games?
1 game.
And we just have the Houston being one of them. So, Houston goes 3-14.
Yeah, we have Jacksonville, the 13 seed going 5-12. I'm putting Dougie P and Trevor Lawrence. I'm giving them some credit. Mm-hmm. I do feel like they'll look better this season. Give them 2 more seasons, and I think they'll be a pretty great team if they stick with Trevor Lawrence. So I got them going 5-12 and 3rd in this division.
Yeah, I think they're young, they're good. They have talent here and there. They have Dougie P, who I think is obviously. I don't think this. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Be patient with them, but 5-12 better than last year.
Yeah,
they look like they're on the right track. Moving on, the Tennessee Titans. Jake was kind of throwing some shade at the Titans. He said they're not that good. He said they're trash. They're done. Ryan Tannehill is done, and they should just go ahead and go with their backup quarterback now. What's his first name? Willis. What's his first name?
I didn't say that much. Fuck. I didn't say that.
What's his first name?
Malik
Willis.
I didn't say that, bro.
No, Jake didn't say it. But I'm saying he thinks Tannehill's done. He thinks they're ass, and he thinks Derrick Henry just can't carry them like he used to. So they go 7-10. Pretty ugly record, but again, going through their schedule wasn't too hard to give them the losses that they had. I don't know if they go 7-10. I'll say 8-9 is more realistic for what I would like Tennessee to go.
So last year they went 12-5.
I'm telling you, bro. And Derrick Henry missed a lot of fucking games.
Yes, but again,
and they still went 12-5.
I just don't.
I agree with you. I do think they're falling off. I do think they're like a 9-8 squad, but the only way we can make this work where everyone makes sense for everybody, they had to go 7-10.
Yeah.
I don't love this, Tennessee fans, but if you do go 7-10, are you really surprised?
There's no way, bro. There's no way. Again, comes down to schedules, and I just don't think they can beat teams.
Can you quickly try to go through your camera roll and see if you can go specifically to their schedule? All right, let's take a revisit right now, live on the pod. I want Jake to pull up the schedule of a screenshot that we have of the Tennessee Titans record, because I want to see. It had to be one of the last ones.
I got it. It was one of the first.
So I want to see what games we have them losing. What games we have them losing? Just say that. What games do we have them losing?
Okay, so we have them losing to the Bills.
Where?
Week 2.
But like where are they at? Where are they playing
at Buffalo.
At Buffalo, they lose.
Okay. Losing at home to the Raiders. Okay.
Reasonable. Raiders are good.
Losing away to the Colts.
Again, Matt Ryan. It's whatever. You can question that, but
okay. Week 9, we have them losing to Kansas City at Kansas City.
Tough.
I don't think that's
tough
a fucking
place to
argument
win.
there.
Tough place to win.
Week 11, we have them losing to Green Bay at Green Bay.
Tough place to win.
Cold as fuck.
Aaron Rodgers, come on.
It's week 11, cold as fuck, We do have them dropping back-to-back to the Bengals at Tennessee and to the Eagles at Philadelphia.
Now, I'll say Tennessee, you might get that Philly game.
But that's a toss-up.
And it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
And with the whole, it's the Bengals. It's Joey B, come
on. We have them losing to the Chargers week 15.
Good team.
Yeah. We have them losing to the Texans week 16. Now
that's one of those.
Like, how the fuck did you lose to them? That's one of those games.
That's one of those. How did you lose to them? And we all have everyone has those games in the season.
Now it's late in the season.
At this point,
week 16.
You guys gave up on each other.
Yeah.
At this point, that's what it is. That explains that.
That's that fucking.
Everyone goes. We might have to just put Malik Willis in.
Yeah.
At this point,
we're not a playoff team right now.
Yes.
Let's
trade Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Losing to the Cowboys week 17. Come on.
Sorry.
Be realistic here.
Sorry, but come on.
And that's it. They win their last week against the Jaguars.
So, look, as tough as those L's are to take,
those are all like playoff.
Even if I say
championship
fine,
contenders.
you can have the Houston dub.
Right. You're still 8-9.
Houston drops to 2-15. You guys drop to 8-9.
It's still, it's not.
That's pretty much the only game I would give you.
Right.
Maybe you sneak a dub versus Chargers. Again, now, we're not saying that it's impossible for the Tennessee Titans to win versus Green Bay, to win versus Kansas City, to win versus those teams. But it just so happened that in this moment, in the structure that we're looking at, I don't want the Chiefs going 9-8.
Right.
So I'm going to give them the dub versus Tennessee. Yeah. That's what it is. Okay. And I don't mind Tennessee going 7-10 because they're probably going to go 9-8.
Yeah. 9-8, 8-9, 7-10.
But.
Yeah,
7-10 for us. You guys gave up on each other, and that's what it is.
And
last
team,
but not least.
Yeah, last team in the
AFC South.
AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts. They added Matt Ryan. Their squad is really good.
Really good.
Jonathan Taylor, arguably the first pick in the fantasy draft.
This might be his best roster, Matt Ryan's best roster since the Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah.
So
actually, it might even be better, bro. Because who do you have at running back? I don't remember who he had at running back. He had fucking.
He had
Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
I mean.
They were saucy, though.
But Jonathan Taylor's better than both of them combined.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know about combined, but yeah.
Combined?
They were good. Don't talk shit about Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman were good.
And then he had Julio.
Yeah.
So he does have better wide receiver.
But roster-wise, complete. I mean, they had a good defense.
Yeah.
Their defense was pretty good back then, but their defense is good now. I don't know. I don't know if it's the best roster since Atlanta, but I'm saying best roster since Atlanta. I'm not saying they're better than Atlanta's roster.
That's arguable, but yeah.
I'm saying the best roster since Atlanta. So, hey, if Matt Ryan could just get the last bit of juice left in his tank to go.
And 10-7 is not the craziest record either. It's not like he's, losing 2 games. 10-7, they had their struggles, but Matt Ryan still has some juice, and the rest of that offense is still pretty good. Jonathan Taylor obviously is a fucking monster. So,
yeah.
I think with all that combined, that you're in the AFC and you're in the weakest division, probably. Yeah, weakest division. Maybe the Bills division, but it's a debate.
One of the weakest divisions.
Yeah, one of the weakest divisions in the NFL.
In the league, yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to go 10-7. So we have them at 10-7, and they are the 4th seed in the AFC.
Yeah. So obviously, these are all up for debate. So if you guys want to go ahead and go to the website that we just talked about, maybe we'll try to remember to get the link to the website, drop it into the
below.
description on YouTube if you're watching or wherever you're listening.
Yeah.
We'll drop it as well. You guys can try this record predictor yourself. Go through. I mean, honestly, if I did one by myself and Jake did one by himself, we would come out with different records. So everyone's going to come out with different records for sure. Jake and I did this together.
Yeah.
We argued and debated some of these games. So you guys go ahead and do that yourself. Sit there, talk about every single game, break it all down. Let us know what your record predictions are for the AFC. Again, next week on next week's podcast, we will be discussing the NFC records, and then maybe the next couple of weeks after that, talk about fantasy the playoff predictions we had as well. And talk about some fantasy football because our fantasy football draft is coming up in about a month from now.
September 3rd.
September 3rd is our fantasy draft. Now, I had someone tell me their draft just happened last week, and I was like, holy shit, that's kind of early. But Jake and I, in our league, we like to wait till the very last minute because I don't want to draft Patrick Mahomes or something.
That's my thing. One of my coworkers was like, because he plays fantasy.
Is it why so late?
And he goes, yeah, we like to have it early before preseason. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up because somebody fucking tears the ACL.
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
like, knock on wood, you don't want anyone to get hurt.
Of course. But, and that's what I told him. I'm like, I don't want somebody to draft like their first round pick is injured for the season. I feel like that's fucked up. So I'm like, after week one, like, it is what it is, you know? But if I can avoid the preseason injuries and everybody's fucking healthy by the time we draft, I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
So everybody's on an even playing field.
Yeah, I mean, like little things like Todd Gurley, who we are assuming is going to retire soon. Did he retire?
I don't know.
Todd Gurley, you're assuming he's going to retire soon at some point. What if he just came back to the NFL and signed with the fucking Buffalo Bills? You know what I mean? And they're saying he looks good. You know, all of a sudden that's a draftable player. You want to actually draft early. You don't want some guy to pick him up with the waiver wire. You know, so that's kind of what it is. Like we just want to make sure we're
completely up to date.
What we're looking at when we go to our fantasy draft is almost perfect to what the rosters are going to look like in the NFL when the NFL season starts. So that's why we wait that long. But again, we'll talk some fantasy football later this month. You have any fantasy football questions? You guys want us to give you some advice, even though we suck at this? Definitely hit us up in the comments. Let us know. Hit us up on social medias.
Yeah, hit us up on social media. Hit us up directly. I'm OBJack, OBWEJAC. You can follow Josh at
Josh__G, 2 H and 2 E's. If that's too confusing for you, it should be right here in front of me on YouTube. If not, it's in the description wherever you're watching or listening.
All the other links are going to be down below. Like Josh said, I'm going to try to remember to put that website in the link below. Use it at your own discretion. I want to protect us.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, we don't. We're not. It's not
as
an ad.
far as we know. No viruses on our computer.
So use it at your discretion, though. I don't know. We're not
sponsored by this fucking website. We actually don't even care about the website that much. We're just happy that we found one. It was fun. It was fun to use. Yeah. So we enjoyed it. So use it. Use it
at your discretion. That is going to do it for this week's sports episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace.